watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How bold is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even come to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you are my friend. And yes, we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without our world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. And I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Hello and welcome to this week's Sunday service for the Church of Union. Let us begin with a visualization exercise for your perfect home. Now please relax and take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. And just notice your heart space. As you keep breathing, how it feels good to you. And just notice how you are feeling in your heart space. Letting go of your day and surrendering to this present moment. Remember that as a child of the Most High, you are capable of manifesting your dream reality. And one important part of your dream reality is your perfect home. Begin to ask yourself, where would I like to live? Is it close to nature, with mountains, a forest, or near the lake or the ocean, or a mixture? In a small or big city, or close to one? Now, visualize the shape and the size of your perfect house. Imagine how it looks on the outside. Is it a modern style, or does it resemble an architecture of the past? And now imagine moving there with your consciousness and entering your perfect house through the front door, making yourself comfortable, maybe swapping clothes, and just take a look around. And breathe all of that good energy in of your perfect house. And I invite you to walk around your perfect house in your imagination. Maybe take a look at the kitchen or one of them. Notice the kind of equipment you have and the furniture and how you feel supported by it. And now, remember that you can always return to a specific part of your house. Let us continue and walk into the living room. And sit down on a nice chair or couch and imagine your twin flame next to you. You and your twin flame in your perfect home. And feel free to invite your soul pets if you like. And imagine how your soul family is close by. Maybe they are living in the neighborhood. And imagine how you have beautiful neighbors all around, how you are surrounded by your spiritual community. Notice how healing it feels to be in this perfect home of yours. Receive it fully and integrate this vision and this feeling. Now come to a conclusion of this visualization exercise and invite God into the picture, surrendering this vision to Him. Saying that, okay, God, you are going to guide me perfectly to my perfect home. And now as you ground back into your body, please enjoy the rest of the Sunday service.
Welcome everyone, I'm Christy and I have the privilege today to provide a card reading for today's Sunday service, and I pulled a few cards from the Energy and Spirit Oracle card deck from Sandra and Taylor. And frankly, I saw that Jeff and Shaleia used it in the Twin Flames open forum on Facebook, and I never saw it before and I had to get it directly. It has a very peaceful energy, like the peace stuff is there, and also kind of freedom, right, to let go of everything what you feel trapped. And there is like a little message in there, and because the topic for today is manifestation, it's kind of matching it. And it says your life is vibrating with unlimited potential. Manifest miracles with spirit every day. Okay, let's go. The first card is Shamanic Healer, number 17, cleansing and attunement. It's like the eagle, and I feel it's kind of God's spirit, divine consciousness, so that you align your consciousness with the divine, right? Kind of like the eagle owns the spirit, like of this man. So to allow to empty your cup and to that God takes over, right? To I remember when Shaleia said in the Romance Attraction course, I think, to choose to have a strong identity with your divine self and to really feel and tune into that. And it's kind of, I feel, the start to manifest everything what you want. For example, letting go of every limited mindset, kind of, I'm not good enough, or that will never happen, right? My dreams are never come true, to let all of that go. And the perfect thing to do that is, for example, meditation. The next card says mindfulness, peaceful presence and quiet mind. And it's really like going within, kind of letting the past go or the future go, just being present in the now moment. Again, kind of emptying your cup, because only then you can listen to God, right? Only then you can hear God's voice, and His will is aligned with yours, right? Your will is one, to get to know what you really want. And every need, every desire is important, right? Because it comes from God. And to really find out who you really are. And there are, for example, I'm doing the Dreams Coming True e-course right now again. I really love it. And there are some meditations in it and also exercises where you afterwards can write down your thoughts, kind of also making love lists for everything, write your dream home, your harmonious union, and what you really want for every little detail in your life. And when you know, for example, after meditation or going within what you want, there are action steps needed, right? And the next card is conscious steps, considered action and looking forward. And what I really love about this card is that she already looks as if she's going to celebrate, right? She's already dressed up and with the flower in her hair and kind of stars and sparkles on her dress. And at the same time, she's just focusing on the next step, right? All these stones. She's very, very focused and concentrated just on the next step. So not to look at the mountain, oh my gosh, how can I ever manifest that? And to give up. No, it's just put one foot in front of the other, right? There's nothing more needed, I feel. And the last card to close the reading, it's perfect in a way. It's Archangel Phanuel. Frankly, I never heard of him, maybe you. And the message is hope, optimism, and new beginnings. And frankly, hope, I always replace it with faith because hope has kind of a doubt in it if it will manifest. So faith, optimism, and new beginnings. And there's already kind of a kingdom, right? Your castle in the background, your place in God's kingdom. You just have to claim it. You just have to, with your vibration, you relax into it and know that it's yours and your place. Nobody can take it. And I also feel like, joy, optimism. You manifest your desires with feeling already into it, right? For example, imagining like being with your twin flame, experiencing all the romance you want, being in your dream home, for example, in the pool or in the kitchen or cooking together with your twin flame, right? Or whatever you want to do and really experiencing that. And with that, you're attracting everything what you want, right? With your feelings and with your optimism and your joy. So new beginnings, I feel, right? Let go of the past or your choices you did maybe in the past and start a new day now, right? That you know that dreams are meant to come true. So I wish you a beautiful Sunday and maybe I see you in the after church tea time. Take care and bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's Sunday service. I am Kanisha and I have the privilege of introducing our today's executive ministers, Jason and Chrissy, and their sermon on manifesting. And I really enjoyed today's sermon. It is one of my favorite topics and I really can relate to a lot of what they shared. I will let them get into the deep details of really how to manifest and the desires that you really want to have in your life, knowing that anything that you desire is actually meant to manifest into your life. It's really important that you just surrender how that's going to look and how that's going to unfold. And that is something that I had to learn myself. I just recently manifested a brand new apartment and I had lived in my previous apartment for 5 years, which is the same length that I have been in Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class. And I actually had a dream a few months ago where Jeff was walking me through my apartment and pretty much showing me where I was settling in this energy of being okay with poverty consciousness and lack and not realizing that where I was living was not actually going to support where I was going, but because I was so comfortable there and I was still holding on to that lack consciousness, I was having a hard time allowing myself to manifest something bigger and more supportive for me. So after that dream, I had to take a good look at my finances and I wanted to stay in that same place, but God works in his ways. And a week later, I had gotten a notification that I was going to only have a 120-day eviction notice because they wanted to remodel my apartment because I had been in it for so long. So you see where God was going there. So I had to trust that God had a plan and trust the process. And at first I was a little upset because I really wanted to move at a time that felt right for me. And I had to come to the realization that I needed to surrender to God's plan and his timing, because it's absolutely different than mine. And I had to look at these places where I was fearful of looking before, mostly around my finances. And so as I started to allow myself to feel my feelings and to move through those things, I had came across a class in Twin Flame Ascension School where there was a union where they had absolutely no money, but they needed a place to live. And I always loved Twin Flame Ascension School because it's always perfect for what you're working through in every moment. And so by listening to this class, it really allowed me to release the doubt and the fear that I was going to be completely supported in this space. And so I had to get clear on what that looked like. And I wrote out a love list of what I wanted my next place to look like. And at first, I had to go through all of the options that I had. The first option that had came up was the family that I nanny for the last 5 years as well had offered me their room, spare room in their upstairs, but it was only going to be for like a 1 bedroom for both me and my boys. I have 2 boys, and it felt like at first it felt like a very kind deal. That once I felt into it and really sat with it, it wasn't a very good deal at all. Especially because the amount of it was going to be almost the same exact amount for my 2 bedroom and a living room, but just for a 1 bedroom. So I was like, that doesn't feel good to pay the same amount, but to condense in size. So I had to keep following the path, just like how Jason and Chrissy talk about in the sermons. I had to just keep following the string. And I had a few other options come up, but every time I felt my feelings about it and I went to God about it, it would just fall through. And so I really felt into what it was that I wanted. And in my core, I knew that I didn't want to move into a space with someone that wasn't my twin flame, and that I was going to be okay with living just on my own, and me and my boys, I have them every other week, so a lot of times it's just me, and I was okay with that, but that I did need a bigger place, and that meant that I needed a place that was going to cost a little bit more. So I told God, this is what I need, this is what I'm looking for, this is my budget. And I had gotten on a waiting list, and they told me it wasn't going to be available till April, but they're like, you should just get on the waiting list anyways. And I was just like, okay. So I did. And I had to be out by February 28th, and February 15th came around, and I still have yet to find a place, but I'm packing. And this entire time when I'd feel guided, I would look for apartments, and I hadn't really found anything yet. Still open to options, still talking and just working through my resources. And around February 18th came, and there was a moment where I was just like, God, I have to be out of here in 10 days. And I have no place to live, and I have 2 children. And I just surrendered. And I remember saying, thank you, God, for my place. Thank you for the perfect place for me. Thank you that it's in the right place, that it's and still in my boys' school district. I didn't want to leave because I wanted to be in the same school district because we've already built a village here. I work in this area. This is really the most perfect area. I just need a bigger apartment that works for my budget. And because God is so good, the next day I got a phone call from the apartment that I was on the waiting list for, that they said they didn't have anything until April. And she's like, we can move you in March 10th. Still needed to be out by February 28th, but I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll take it. Thank you. And then I had to feel through my feelings about not being able to move in before I had to be out of my other place. And so I felt my feelings, I claimed my good, I trusted the process. And a day or 2 later, the landlord called, and she was like, if you want, we can actually move you in February 24th, and you'll actually get our bigger 2-bedroom for the same price. And you also get a washer and dryer, which I had lived without for quite some time. So not only did I get to move in sooner, I actually got to take my time moving in because it was before I had to be out of my previous apartment, and I got a bigger place for the same price and a washer and dryer. God, it just loved me so much. And all I had to do was trust the process and continue to surrender to the work. And when I really feel into it, there was a moment or two where I'm just like, okay, this feels a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to feel my feelings and move through it. But there was never a time where I was feeling like I'm going to be abandoned here. I'm going to be homeless, which is where I would have been 5 years ago previous to this work. And so I am so grateful that Jeff and Shaleia has shared this work to where we can really manifest our ultimate life from a place of peace and a place of joy and fun, and allowing it to be an adventure instead of feeling like it has to be a certain way, and allowing God to just surprise us. That's one of my favorite affirmations personally, is like, God, I allow you to pursue me and just surprise me. And I really love just how he does that, is allowing him to romance me in the way that he desires to, and to love me in the way that he desires to, and to be completely open to it and know that it's going to be perfect in every way. And that is what I have learned on this journey, is that I could absolutely have faith and trust and completely surrender. And through this process, I've had quite a few people who aren't in this work but have seen me put this work to use in my life, and they're in awe. Like, wow, how did you really surrender all of that to God? Even like Christian believers, where they're like, well, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, give it to God. And they're like, but you have to do stuff. Well, yeah, I got to give it to God, and when he lets me know that it's time to have guided action, then I'm gonna move through that. But other than that, I'm just gonna live life and enjoy and have fun and do things that feel good. And to them, that's a little nerve-wracking, but as a unionist, you know that that's just the way. It's the most peaceful and loving way, is to completely go within, ask for what it is that you want, feel through your feelings in any place that didn't feel good, and then give it to God and watch the magic unfold, and allow yourself to just have the best life. And of course, I had to work through feelings after receiving my manifestation. There was feelings of doubt of, can I maintain this and have consistency here and pay for it? And of course, by using the work, you feel through your feelings, you realize they're just fears and illusions, and you continue to keep choosing what it is that you want, and God will continue to keep providing. And my first month alone, I'm making more income than I thought I was going to. It's just, I'm being provided for because I keep choosing to love myself and to feel through my feelings and claiming it what it is that I want, knowing that God is my source. He is my banker. He is my provider. And as I do that, my manifestations just flow and unfold perfectly. So I really am looking forward to having just more abundance and more manifestations come to fruition, and you can absolutely have that too. And I love how Jason and Chrissy really share their process and how they did that, and how this work has really changed so many lives already. And I would love to invite you to really consider donating, tithing to the Church of Union, so that this message is shared with the world, and that way people are really living their absolute best life with their twin flame and living their life purpose. So I would love to introduce Jason and Chrissy. I will see you soon.
Welcome, everyone, to another Church of Union Sunday service. Thank you for joining us today. We are Jason and Chrissy.
Hi, everyone.
Your executive ministers of Union for today's service. Let's begin with our 3 opening ohms, followed by our opening prayer. You can all take a deep breath in and join us out loud or in your hearts. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word. Today, I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. So, we are going to talk about manifesting. Manifesting stuff, right?
It's a really juicy topic.
It is.
And we just manifested our first home purchase
Our
together.
first
Twin
home
Flames.
together.
Yay!
Sure.
And we want to tell you all about that and share our experience pretty much from when we started, which was a couple years ago,
Yeah.
until now, and in that journey as it unfolded for us and the challenge, some of the major challenges we moved through to ground into our new home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that, it was a journey of, I think, what would you say? Just it was kind of just one foot in front of the other, right? To
Absolutely.
manifesting our home and getting clear on, what was right for us, for where we were, for where we are in our lives right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it started was rewind a few years ago, and Chrissy was at the time a few years out from retiring from the military, and she had moved every 2 years or so, right? About for the past 20 years. So it was constant moving from place to place, duty station to duty station. And I think you really wanted a place to call home and somewhere that, like, you probably won't go outside of the door, like many of them, right? But just a place to call home and that safety and security of something that's yours, and so we decided, hey, like, let's build a home. Like, what better way to cap off your career and in the military with and start by building a home, build our first home together, right? And that was a process. That was in the middle of COVID, or right in the beginning of COVID, that we started like kicking the tires on what it would take to build a home. And so this is how any manifestation starts, is with a choice, right?
Yeah, it was a choice to get clear on what we really wanted, work with our love list, and like really sit down together as a couple and really get clear on what we wanted in our home together. And, really looking at the different components that were like showstoppers, or like what both of us really, really wanted and desired in our home, and starting from there. And when we started looking at homes, we realized that at the time, a lot of them just were not.
They were older.
They were older, where
we
were looking to live and stuff. And there was a lot of
fresh
work.
start, right?
Yeah. And so we looked at the pricing, and we both have worked really, really diligently on maintaining our finances and our credit for years. Both of us have done really good there. So we had really good credit scores, really healthy financially. And so we felt like, okay, well, let's look at this and see if it's feasible.
Right. A lot of trust built with credit institutions.
Right. And that's something you want to work on, regardless of where you are in your journey. I think it's really important to cultivate a healthy financial life and have that. So wherever you are, it doesn't even matter if you have a lot of debt right now. What you want to do is choose to have a healthy financial life, choose to cultivate that for yourself, and take steps that are going to support you in those dreams, because it is a component of manifesting your dreams is money, is a lot of times money. And it is definitely for Jason and I, and for a lot of people in our community who are doing purpose work. And so you want to cultivate a healthy lifestyle with your finances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we got clear that building was probably, that's what we really wanted. So a fresh start. We wanted to design something that was ours and that was going to be, that would just serve us completely in the ways, specific to us. Right. And so we started on that path. We were a few years out. We knew that we were a few years out to actually, going through the implementation of this manifestation. So there were quite a few feelings to work through. There was
we pulled
many
cards.
challenges.
We pulled cards a lot for a really long time daily, just to check on the house, check on the energy of the house, check on the next steps. We did through the process and after COVID and after choosing this, we did have investments that we sold. So we had a house in Missouri that we sold, and we took a lot of that funding and actually invested into this dream by purchasing land.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so we took the first step, and we're like, okay, we're going to find our land, and we found it, and we absolutely still own this land. We still love this land. We still plan on building on this land. And so it feels like home to us. And it's just nooked off in a corner. We absolutely love the location. And so we still feel really, really good about that investment, and know that we're still today investing in the dream that we started a couple of years ago, even though it unfolded differently than what we expected.
This is the road still to manifesting our complete, or the complete manifestation of it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so what had happened was, as time went on, as COVID went on, materials were going through the roof,
skyrocketing, which a lot of people know.
Right. And so, we were still checking with the bank. Can we do this? Are we approved for this?
Are we good? Everything was good.
We're good.
We're good.
As time went on, years had passed. We're still doing the work. We're still doing inner work. We're still feeling our feelings. We're still pulling cards, because this is such an enormous manifestation, right? This is a home,
huge,
right? Big manifestation, and so we are going with the flow of what's going on in the world. Materials are still skyrocketing now. Interest rates are skyrocketing as we're pretty much in the 11th hour of breaking ground on our home.
Right.
And it just stopped making sense. Like it stopped being a good deal for us. It was between the interest rates that were driving things up, and the materials that were driving things up. It was, we would have had to continuously downsize the size of our home to fit it within the budget that we were looking for.
So let's stop there and unpack that.
Sure.
Because we had a lot of feelings to move through at this point.
Because at this point we're at 2 years.
We're at 2 years
or more, two plus years.
We've purchased land. We've actually invested in our builder at this point. So we put money down with the builder. We've paid the architect. We've paid permits, because we were getting goes the whole time with the bank and in the whole process, right? And so we were continuing to go, getting the yeses, and continuing to invest money in cash on our dream. And so when we were, and it all felt really good to us, and we felt like this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense, this feels really good, let's go. And so as we continued to go, we continued to get the bids in, we came above budget, just a bit above budget on what we wanted to do, but we thought, okay, let's look.
At that point, we had kind of, it seemed like sacrifice a lot of the home.
We were
that we
starting to see, this is when it started to feel bad.
To be at the number, right?
So to get to the number, based on our current income and what was going on, we would have had to cut basically an entire floor of the house and only do, we removed the basement essentially. And so we're like, okay, well, I think we can still do this and still meet our love list without this second floor. and it started to feel a little constrained, right? And so I was like, okay, there's something off here. We kept feeling through our feelings. And as we did that, this deal fell apart very quickly.
Yeah.
And so like once we realized that, one, we had to really be honest with where we were financially. We're very, very, I would even say, on the side of reserved with our money. And so like we don't spend more money usually. We on a regular basis, not even usually, we don't spend more money than we have coming in.
We're very thrifty.
We're very, we're very financially responsible. And so we had a lot of cash saved up for this because we started a couple of years ago. And so when we were looking at it, we were just like, this is getting to the point where I feel financially stressed with this move, even though we can get it through. And so we were still moving forward, even though it was starting to feel just looking
like
at the,
we were being overextended.
We were starting to overextend ourselves.
Maybe spiritually, or maybe in some degree, we felt overextended.
It became a bad deal for us when we saw at the end of the day the amount of home we would have and the amount of mortgage a month. It just didn't.
Yeah, the price.
It just didn't add up due to the
price of the home didn't make sense for the size of the home that we were getting. In our opinion. That was just like where we were at with it. Right.
So being completely honest with where we were and how it felt helped us to get clear here very quickly. And so we realized we had to put a hold on it. And that was a really difficult decision for us because we had been moving through it for years. And we were, what we really felt divinely guided in that exploration. And it helped us heal so many things and truly deepened our partnership as twin flames.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did at any point during that process, did you feel that you were doing something that you weren't being guided to do?
No. And even when I did start to feel like, okay, maybe this isn't the right way, I would go start looking at houses that were available in the area, and nothing was like remotely close to what we were looking at or wanted. And so I was like, there's something here for us. And so we just kept following the thread.
Right. We just kept...
It's kind of like almost like a false twin flame experience, but with a house built.
We were following the path up until we were just following open doors. And open doors until we hit a closed door, and then we had to reroute. Right. And that's essentially what we did. But we didn't like give up early on following the open doors.
Completion.
We just kept going through the open doors until there were no more open doors.
We were standing there, and there was just just like, to move forward here feels bad. Right. And so we decided to and then we started to explore closing, just putting a hold on it. And when we really chose that, we felt a lot of relief come in, and we had no idea what we were.
We quickly rerouted to purchase a home because that was the next thing that made sense.
Because we knew we were moving, and so we knew we were moving here because this is a temporary location, and so we knew we were moving from here to our home base, right? And so like when we were thinking about that, we were like, okay, well. Let's start looking at buying. Let's start looking at purchasing. Let's see what we can do. So we went back to the bank and we went, okay, what can we get pre-approved for? Oh, you can get pre-approved for this much. We're like, that's a great house. Let's start looking. And so we had a lot of maneuvering and like a lot of opportunity to purchase with what we were approved for. So we went back to the drawing board, and it just started feeling really good, and it moved pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. We had we had been dealing with the bank, so all the things that you may think are now like 2 years of our lives being put in all of our energy into dealing with the bank and builders and all of the behind the scenes people that go into that, and then not having all the work that we put into it. Well, where does it go? Does it all get lost? Not in this case. We had everything we needed, plus the pre-approval of a sizable amount of buying power to purchase a home. And we had everything already packaged to where like it would just be an easy thing to find a home that we liked and pull the trigger on it, right? And so
And so there's a couple lessons here that before we go into actually purchasing the house.
Okay.
The first lesson that I really remembered from Life Purpose, I believe it was Life Purpose class, is never be afraid to walk away from a bad deal. Right? And so you want to follow the thread, but when you get clear you're in a bad deal or you're about to make a bad deal, you have to be willing to walk away regardless of what's been invested there, knowing your love is never lost, knowing your investment is never lost. And as long as you're being honest with everyone involved as you move through it, you'll have no problem saying this doesn't work. And we were honest with everyone. We were honest with our builder. We were being very clear of what we were receiving, the communications we were receiving from the bank. You know, we got apologies from the bank along the way as well for their lack of communication or their miscommunication as well. And so when we figured this all out and got clear, it's safe to walk away from a bad deal.
Right.
Regardless of, you want to practice radical non-attachment, right? Things shift, things change, and it's okay to redirect.
Sure. I think without learning everything that we did in Life Purpose class, like someone could have tried to force that deal to happen.
Yeah, we could have controlled and forced the deal to go down.
Or just like ignored our feelings and went through with it anyway, did what we needed to do to go through with it anyway, even though it may have felt bad. Because that opportunity was there so that we weren't like letting down any of the people, right? But like that wouldn't have honored us.
It wouldn't have honored us or where we are right now.
That we were engaging in.
Right. And through all this inner work that we did, and as we went deeper into partnership with each other as twin flames in our marriage, we also found out during this time that we're autistic, right? Which is a huge lifestyle shift for us in regards to, well, pretty much everything and how we were like functioning in life, right? We really went through like almost like
it's just like a total
identity,
transformation or identity.
Like transformation. We really transformed in the way that we actually live and relate to life and relate to others. And so as we were doing that, not looking at this huge investment, this huge thing we were doing, and if we were really where we wanted to be to continue with it, would have been like not healthy for us. It would have been, it would have been dishonoring us. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we redirected. Yeah, and we did all of that with the mirror exercise. We felt very peaceful the whole time, and just really felt supported as we applied the work in our life to continue to manifest our dreams. So when we put that to bed, we took a little time to process, and then we just went back to the love list. And we're like, okay, what's our love list? What have we added? Where are we at? And what are we looking for in our home? Right? And then we went back to the drawing board and started looking at buying.
Yeah, and we just like, we had to sift through a lot of different homes and what was on the market and
what we were willing to do.
What at the time there was not a lot of stuff on the market, and what was on the market wasn't like, we saw a couple things that we liked.
Yeah, we looked at a couple homes.
We were like, oh, this could work. This could, we have ideas here. We have ideas
We
there.
could gut this kitchen, or we could do this to the carpet. We'll get all that carpet. Like, no, it really came down to us figuring out, does this have the bones? Does this house have the start that we want? Does it have the structure that we want? Does it have the space that we want for our family? Is it meeting our love list? Is it in the right location for us based on where we're moving and what we're going to do?
Right. Is it a good investment?
Is it a good investment?
Is it a good deal?
Is it a good deal? Yeah, all those things. Is it priced right, or is it being overpriced based on the market? Like, all of these things came up for us to move through, and we actually moved through them quite swiftly because we had been doing it with the build the whole time. We had the momentum, so we just kept following the good feeling.
Yeah. And so we came down to a home that was, all the things kind of lined up for us, where there was a home that was actually built last year. And, the people had to sell it because of a particular circumstance in their family. And
They were paying 2
We-
mortgages
we got
essentially,
lucky.
and we got very blessed.
we
We were
got
very
very
blessed in
blessed.
our home.
And
We got a fair deal. I think that we even might have gotten a little bit. I think they might have taken a bit of a hit on it, but we got a fair deal for the home because there are some things we're going to have to.
Right, but it did hit a lot of the things that we were looking for in our original build, which a good amount of space, and it was practically brand new.
Yeah, they lived in it for like 7 months, and half those times they were like half of them were somewhere else. Or something.
Right, and so it's a good investment opportunity for us to put some ingenuity and TLC into, and perhaps it could be quite an investment opportunity for us to do something with in the future.
We just have we feel a lot of dreams there, but I do want to go over the process that we experienced with manifesting the house in terms of, the challenges we met when we went to like finally sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
So when we found this house, it was actually half the price of what we were pre-approved for. And so we felt this should have been like a layup in regards to the loan process with the bank. And everyone was telling us that. They're like, oh, you're going to go with this? Like, because it was, there's a lot of potential. We see a lot of potential in the home. And it's just, we had a lot of buffer in regards to financing. And so we're like, no, this is the one we want to go with. And we're going to, do a lot of things to it. So we have all of that room.
Yeah.
And so as we went through the process, essentially like our bank ghosted us. Like our loan officer went on vacation. He went on vacation, or he didn't come to work one day, or the day we're supposed to close. And there was an issue with our final approval that really needed him to.
Yeah, he left it in the hands of someone that.
Well, she left too. So like the person he left it in the hands.
The person that they left it in the hands of wasn't even on our loan application
or on our team
or on their team. So like they just kind of like were like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, like they kind of they ghosted us. I don't even know how else to explain it, but that's spiritually how we felt. And so as we sat there, and they're essentially the person who was there that day told us they weren't going to approve us for the loan. And everyone was shocked. We had 5 days to close, and you need that time after you get approved for other things with title company and things. And so we were like, it was a Friday afternoon when they told us.
Made absolutely no sense.
Made absolutely no sense. And so we were like, what are we going to do? And so we sat and pulled cards, and we had the loan officer in our mind that was helping us with the build.
Right.
We called him on a Friday. You could contact him Friday or Saturday.
I contacted him on a Friday night.
On a Friday night, contacted a banker.
We were on the phone with him on Saturday morning.
And he called us on Saturday morning and started the process.
And they were into like underwriting on Monday.
Right. So
into the process.
Because we had all our paperwork and all our ducks in a row, right? We were able to file with his bank on Saturday. He processed it on Sunday. And by Monday morning, he had it into underwriting for us. And it was like, I have no idea why. They were actually, this bank, our bank that we went with, was trying to figure out why this other bank said no. Right? They were actually trying to figure out what they're not seeing or what the problem was. And what happened on Monday when the loan officer decided to come back to work, he's like, I'm going to get you approved. And I'm like, whoa, you said no.
So we said,
so we told you we're going somewhere else. We've gone somewhere else. Like we don't want to lose this house. And so we moved on to somebody else. Well, on Tuesday, the old bank came back to us and said we got approved and they can get us into signing today, right? But we had already moved forward with another bank, and I feel like
we had a choice there.
We had a choice to make here.
We could, kind of go back on our word with the new bank that we were going on, who kind of
went above and beyond,
really front loaded our situation to get us
expedited our paperwork
where we needed to be to close rapidly, or we can go back to the old bank and kind of like, I don't know, maybe tarnish our character,
or
like a
like
lot of
make
it.
kind of like make a deal with the devil. It felt like to
I
me,
guess so,
because like they
sure.
mistreated us, and it wasn't appropriate how we were treated at this bank. And how you treat people matters, and it's also about how we treat people matters. And so, like when we looked at it, there was no way that we were going to do that. So we took the healthy risk of moving forward with the new loan officer. The old officer then shifted everything they possibly could over to the new one to get the deal closed, just to mend the relationship with us moving forward, and the property manager and everyone else on the team that was getting mistreated based on their choices. And so when we moved forward with the new bank, it was a healthy risk, and we had to double down on a lot of things with the owners to solidify the deal and extend
when we
the
said
title.
no to the bank, to the first bank that said, okay, we'll approve you, that was a risk. That was a leap of faith for us, because we could have, something could have happened where this new bank could also say no, and then the deal is dead. But we chose to honor ourselves. We chose to honor our character, and chose to do business with the people that were there to love and support us, and not the people that were just trying to take advantage, or just trying to get a sloppy deal done or anything like that. Like that's how we choose to live. That's how we choose to do business with everyone. Is everyone wins. It's not just like it's a good deal for this side and a bad deal for that side, right? Like we want everyone to have that good deal and that good feeling.
Yeah, we did get, not from the loan officer, but the administrative assistant that worked with us the majority of the time. She did send us a sincere apology, and we spoke to her and told her we didn't hold her responsible because she got sick. But I think that it's really important that that everyone wins, and those who make their bed essentially sleeps in it based on their choices. And, you go forward with a good deal. On the other end, what I really appreciated was that the new loan officer treated us like we were doing a $1 million deal, even though we weren't. And because of that, when we do want to do a $1 million deal, you can guarantee we're going to be going and knocking on his door and saying, hey, we're ready for the next step, and we're ready to move forward with our custom build, which will be at that level. And I think he sees that. He knows that we have big dreams. He knows where we're moving. And he treated us like we were a $1 million deal when we're, buying a starter home.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And they...
that means something. How you treat people matters.
Through this whole process, it was, we were together. We were there together to move through everything and make the choices and be smart about it and be logical. And we had God, right? And it was all quite a learning experience, right? It was 3+ years of going through this, and there's more to come to it because we haven't built our custom home yet. But this is just a stop along the way. This is a stop along the way of manifesting, and
it feels really good.
Yeah,
because we're gonna build there. We're gonna put roots down there, and really that's our story. And we're really looking forward to all the dreams we have for that home and what we want to do with it. And the next step in supporting, the Church of Union and its expansion, we're all in, and we're really looking forward to it. But one lesson that's popping in my head now that we always talk about is, how you treat your clients, how you treat those that you're supporting, how you treat each other. Because remember, you never know who is going to be that big investor. You never know what God has in store for you with the relationships that you're building and that you're cultivating. So when you look at everyone, love them like they're $1 million. Love them perfectly. Love them. Give to them consistently. And just show up for them. And as you do that, you'll receive that in turn, right? And so one card that we pulled when we were doing this was Dharma. And that divine wisdom that comes with good deeds, and knowing that you can build that over time by doing God's work. doing your purpose work. And know that you're going to always be supported in your dreams, because that's what God wills for you. God wills your dreams, and you can, and something I did was a massive amount of surrender during this process. And I would tell you, I was like, God, may your will be done. Whatever you will, God, let's do it. And like, as you choose that and you surrender to the process, you'll just be showered with love and blessings. And one thing that we received with this home that we are just absolutely grateful for is Jeff and Shaleia went and blessed it for us. And it was such an incredible blessing to receive as a unionist. And, that's...
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right? There's always...
get emotional there, but
there's always I guess in any opportunity, there's always that choice that you can do the right thing or do the shady thing, I guess, when no one's looking, right? And it's important to make that choice for yourself to do the right thing, to follow that pathway to your spirituality, your pathway home to God.
Yeah, I know that God is always watching and God sees you.
So that's manifesting.
And we will go into our closing prayer and alms. Please join us. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen.
Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
At this time, please join us for our closing alms. Everyone, let's just take a nice deep breath in. Please chant with us out loud or in your heart. Thank you so much for joining us for today's sermon, and we want to remind you that there is the spring raffle starting.
Tons of prizes!
Tons of prizes. The Sweet Spring Raffle, it will be starting at tea time today, so please make sure you join us for that very special tea time. It's going to be a blast.
Any tithing donations enter you into the raffle, and don't forget to bid on your favorite items. There are a lot of good things going on the market for raffling and bidding. So
yeah, you can go check out that and how everything's going to work at unionism.org. And see you next time.
Well, welcome back, everyone. And I just want to thank Jason and Chrissy for that beautiful sermon. I really loved that part where Chrissy had said that it's really important that we love everyone as if they are $1 million. And I find that to be absolutely true for the people who really choose to love all the way through every person who comes along their journey, no matter what it is that they're manifesting. If they choose to love completely and just be kind, so many beautiful blessings happen from that. But I do find that those who try to manipulate or try to come at it from a place of not love and really just a very selfish motives, that a lot of that will backfire in their face and it just doesn't work out. So by personal experience and watching it happen, it's really important that you do love everyone in your process and just love the journey and the process completely, and everything will work out in your favor and it will work out for everyone's highest good and it will be God's will. So just remember that as long as you're choosing to feel your feelings and to allow yourself to be honest of where you're at and to move through whatever comes up compassionately and not having to judge the process, but just recognizing that it's just a process of growth and that you get to really see how powerful and magical you are with the things that you do manifest in your life, because you are the ultimate creator in your reality and you get to create the reality that you desire. And you just want to make sure that you are doing it from a place of love so that you are building it from a solid foundation. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I would love to invite you to visit our unionism.org page, where you will find our previous sermons. And I would also love to invite you to donate and tithe to the Church of Union's, contribute to the Church of Union's message to the world. That way, this message can be spread across the world for everyone and they can learn how to have their ultimate life. And then I would also love to invite you to subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel. And that is where you will also find our other discussions from our Unionism Spiritual Discussion Group, where you can find us on Facebook. And you will see us there and join us there after today's sermon for our after church tea time, where you will find a beautiful panelist of Unionists who will discuss their intake and takeaways from today's sermon. And other than that, we thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you have a beautiful week, and we will see you again next Sunday. Take care.